Now, I'm wearing my Banana Zone t-shirt because I think it's coming. I think it's coming in days or maybe a week. I know it sounds hubristic, but I honestly give this Banana Zone 80-something% chance of happening almost immediately. Give it 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, it's all going to come. Things are going to improve dramatically. The equity market's driven by liquidity. Your earnings, yours and mine, are driven by the business cycle. And that is just about to pick up. So I think Sue is going to be one of the chosen ones of the cycle. And it's starting to happen. I mean, it's broken out versus...
Raoul Pal just dropped a bombshell, chaos, crypto, and the Banana Zone. With market chaos, crypto price predictions, and a timeline that's speeding up could be the tipping point, and everything is about to change. The urgency is real. Macro, crypto, the everything code, all colliding in a way that could redefine the financial landscape. Raoul warns, don't sleep on this. The timeline is speeding up, and if you're not ready, you'll miss out on the biggest opportunities.
Markets are always unreadable around events like this. You need a day or two to settle down. I've been saying this for a long time. Inflation is falling. Rates were at 5.5%, they're now at 5%. Inflation, headline inflation's at 2.5%. Half the people on the internet is like, oh my God, inflation's so high, it's 2.5% and it's falling. This is the chart of CPI versus the large outburst of inflation, the five largest from the 1940s and 1980s. This Mount Fuji pattern is so consistent, yet everybody bleats, oh, well, if they cut rates, they're gonna bring inflation back. No, they're not. They never have. Inflation will come at the end of the cycle. This is so normal. Inflation is going to keep falling. It'll be below 2%. And guess what? I think rates are coming below 2% and people don't understand this yet. And so I think rates will continue to be cut. The market doesn't understand this. Rates are part of financial conditions that should continue to improve. Our GMI model, it shows that ISM, the business cycle, is all about to pick up. All the talk about recession and everything is just utter nonsense. We've actually got economic growth signposted everywhere whilst inflation. So that's the big story. So the Fed, blah, 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 blah. But generally speaking, risk assets should be doing really well. And risk assets are doing really well because guess what? As I've talked about, bleated about, explained to you in the Everything Code is global liquidity. This is the time to have to roll the debts. Global liquidity is going to go up. And hey presto, it's going up just like it did every other time. So that's global M2. We can use GMI weekly global liquidity, which is just central bank orientated. Less exciting yet. When we get to the Chinese, their assets, their balance sheet in white, that's cyclical. It will continue to grow. They will probably do a lot of quantitative easing. But generally speaking, overall, the GMI total liquidity index breaking out. Just to show why it matters, this is the Banana Zone. I posted this on Twitter. Global M2, 10-week lead over Bitcoin. Do you need anything better than that? Oh, wait, I can give you something better than that. I can give you the GMI total liquidity, which is both private sector and state sector liquidity versus Bitcoin. It says the Banana Zone is here. That's the only thing I can think of is that everything I look at says the Banana Zone is here. Bitcoin seasonality, election years, October up only. Right? And these are big moves. Same in the Russell 2000. Here's Bitcoin last year versus this year. I mean, really? And this is La La Land ETH last year versus this year. So, and by the way, that's the straightforward Bitcoin pattern. I mean, everything I look at, every single thing shouts the Banana Zone. Now, I'm wearing my Banana Zone t-shirt because I think it's coming. I think it's coming in days or maybe a week. I know it sounds hubristic, but I honestly give this Banana Zone an 80-something% chance of happening almost immediately. Give it 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks. You know, I've been on the phone with a few, billionaire GMI subscribers, friends of mine. Everybody wants this to happen. Everyone needs this to happen because people are invested.
As Raoul breaks down today's economic landscape, there's one message that stands out. Liquidity is coming. From the Fed's potential shift to quantitative easing to the equity market's resurgence, Raoul's predictions suggest we're entering a period of financial growth. But perhaps the most intriguing concept? The Banana Zone. Yes, it's a bit quirky, but it's Raoul's way of capturing those moments of collective market consciousness that lead to big opportunities. Are we entering that zone now? Only time will tell.
when their mortgages are like that, their interest payments are like that, their credit card bills are like that. Speak to corporations who are trying to borrow money that aren't kind of, AAA rated tech companies that have no debt. All of this stuff. It has been very, very difficult for a while. Rates have been the highest they have for a very long time. The rate of change of interest rates was enormous. Inflation is now wildly below interest rates. So real rates are ridiculously restrictive, and people feel it. People are not happy. People don't have personal expenditure abilities to do what they want, but it's coming. It's coming. The business cycle's changing. So all of you who run businesses, all of you who see the sluggishness of the cycle and wonder why the equity market's going to all-time highs and your business isn't yet, it's all going to come. Things are going to improve dramatically. The equity market's driven by liquidity. Your earnings, yours and mine, are driven by the business cycle, and that is just about to pick up. So Sui is a crypto token that I'm on the foundation board of. So yes, I'm shilling it, but I'm actually not. I don't talk about stuff that I don't think is going to go up. I've been talking about this for a while. I've been warning people that I think Sui is going to be one of the chosen ones of the cycle. And it's starting to happen. I mean, it's broken out versus Sui. It's outperforming pretty much everything now. And most importantly, it's outperforming Solana, which is my big bet. And Solana is, my chosen one. I have 90% of my net worth in Solana, but Sui, I've obviously been granted some tokens as being part of the foundation. They're locked up, etc. But I'm not going to sell. In fact, no, some of them are unlocked. I'm not going to sell. In fact, I've been buying personally because I think it's a chosen one. I think it's going to do really fucking well. Yes, there's a low free float, which everyone goes, oh my God, they're going to be dumping on you. But a lot of the unlock happened a few months ago. Really, it's now pretty phased and pretty low key. But in a bull market, in a really, really interesting protocol that has attention, a low free float means a smaller amount of money drives a larger price rise. The reverse can happen in the bear market too. So just beware, but we're in bull market times. One of what I like about Sui is what they're really trying to do is the team came out of Facebook or Meta, where they built the Libra project that was shut down by every government in the world. Not joking. They were literally told that they were not going to do this by everybody from the World Bank to the BIS to all the major central banks. And the team left and they started, one group started Aptos, the other started Sui. They rebuilt the move language they invented for this, and they built an incredibly sophisticated chain. But the point being is it's really bloody fast. The latency of the chain is less than 1 second for finality, which is, if you think half the stuff, it's like minutes. The latency is fast enough for gaming, financial markets, that kind of stuff. They're just launching Walrus, which is a decentralized data storage layer using blobs that's built on top of the Sui network. So think of Filecoin, think of AWS, decentralized, but for a Web3 world. That's coming on top. It's just a bloody interesting project. You may hate it. You may have something else you prefer. All I ask you to do is show to yourself, not to me, that your chart is going to outperform Solana, and then it's going to outperform Sui. It's going to outperform, that's the way to do things. And that's what got me into the Bitcoin ETH cross. That's what got me into the Solana ETH Solana trade. And Sui, I've been flagging this for a while. I thought it was looking like the chart was going to do this. So it feels like it's one of the big ones. There'll be other stuff that'll outperform Sui without question. Maybe it's your token. Okay, what is Bitcoin as an asset? It is a risk-on asset driven by liquidity, but it's a defensive asset because it works against the debasement of currency.
Raoul Pal laid it all out. Markets are shifting, crypto's next wave is building, and the countdown has already started. If you're not paying attention, you're falling behind. The everything code, the macro landscape, Bitcoin's next move. It's all happening faster than anyone thought possible. You've heard the warnings, the insights, and the predictions. Now it's up to you to act. The opportunities are right in front of you, but only if you're prepared to seize them. Stay sharp, stay informed, and make sure you're ready for what's coming next, because it's going to be big.